in order to save the garden this year, we built this fence. We were shooting to have the fence be about 6 feet tall, but because the ground slopes down on this side about 3 feet by the time it gets to the house, I had to have the minimum be 6 feet at the high side. And then I'm working horizontally, and I used one continuous board to pick up both of the gate 4x4 posts so that it holds them together really tightly and square. That kind of set my top rail 6 feet above my highest point, and so you bring that board across and then you need to like bring the bottom up. So we put a bunch of rocks down here. We were able to reuse the gate. I put new fencing up and painted it black. And then at this point, this is about 7 feet tall, so I dropped it down a foot to continue this run, which made it all the way towards the house. And then we had to fill in the gap at the bottom with, I think it's called hog panel. It's like a 4x4 really thick wire rod. It's a piece I had laying around, and that kind of brought us in this new fence. I really like this fencing. It's a 2" by 4" welded wire fencing. Easily staples to the back side of posts or 4x4s, and it picture frames really well, and you just lay your fencing out and staple it to it. We did that while Rudy was here visiting. Steph's dad, Rudy, and my dad and myself were able to knock this out in about 2 days. The deer were originally getting all the grapes that were growing here on the neighbor's fence, and they ended up jumping over the fence that we had and getting into our backyard, and then they got scared into the garden, and then they like realized they had this all-you-can-eat buffet. Now that the garden's done, we pulled most everything up, put it over there in the compost, let the chickens out, and they've been out for probably 3 weeks now. We just leave the gate open, and they've rooted everything around. Right. Got a couple eggs, got some bedding put in here yesterday, and I just dumped all the bedding here on the ground, and it's already gone. It was a big old pile of it, but sure I can break those eggs in my pocket because I'll forget about them. This is how we get into the chicken coop. To change the bedding, do any maintenance work or anything else. So the controller measures the temperature inside the coop. If it's cold enough, it'll turn the light on. Now that saves us a lot of money, because the other way I would do it last year is before I would go to bed, I would just turn the heat lamp on. That's 240 watts every day that would just run up our electric bill. I think it ended up coming out to like 13 bucks a month or something like that. So when I put this controller in here, the door closes at night and I could read the temperature. I was noticing the outside air temperature at times get down to about 30 degrees, 25 degrees, and the coop temp was like 42. And there were some times it would dip a little bit lower than that. There will be some times that I'm noticing where it's getting a lot colder at night that I might turn the heat lamp on just for a little bit, and I'm gonna buy a lower wattage bulb because I don't need to add a lot of heat. I just need to add a little bit of heat to bring that coop temp up to around 40 is probably what I'm gonna keep it. I haven't even turned it on yet this year, but I've been monitoring the temperature of the coop pretty closely. This chicken right here, she's my favorite because she just lets me pick her up. The other chickens run away, but she'll come and see what I'm doing. She's a buff Orpington, and she's the one that's like more white colored than any of the other ones. The other ones are more yellow. Well, Haven't broke the eggs yet.